What is up, my dashing dudes? I am the Hans TV, and welcome back to the subreddit where possibly the most horrible parents live. This is r/JustNoMIL. Our first post for the day comes from Alternative Radio. Mother-in-law gets mad at dear husband for wanting to stay with me while I mourn my aunt. One lovely year ago today, my JustNoMIL got pissed at my dearest husband. We had just gotten engaged and she had no idea, for not dropping everything in his life, notably me, to come to her because she was sick. We live in a big city, while her father-in-law and brother-in-law live about 2 hours away. She was in town with father-in-law because he had a work thing and they were staying the night at a hotel. We have had many problems before this. I had gone in-sea 2 months earlier and dear husband was in the fog. He's gotten a lot better, but he can still be in the fog sometimes. Working on his shiny spine, but we're not there yet. She proceeded to call him and berate him for not coming to the hotel to see her because she was sick and alone. Here's the kicker. I had just found out that morning that my aunt had passed away from cancer. I was really close to her and was absolutely heartbroken when I learned she had passed. I don't live in my home country, so I felt a lot of guilt that I wasn't there to say goodbye and go to the funeral. I was mourning and just wanted dear husband to stay with me. He told mother-in-law about my aunt and she asked if we wanted her to come over. Seeing as I hadn't seen her in 2 months and the last time I had ended terribly, different story for another time, I had dearest husband politely decline for me. I just wanted to be alone with him and be able to mourn in peace. This is where she freaked out and proceeded to berate dearest husband for not coming to see her. Probably said some things about me too, and threw a tantrum fit for a toddler. Dearest husband was pissed, like so angry, and I begged him not to go, but there was no stopping him. I was upset that he left me alone, and he has apologized. I know he feels badly about it now and has expressed regret over that day multiple times, but a year later it still upsets me that she made one of the worst days of my life all about her. I have a so-so relationship with my mother-in-law now. She's apologized for her actions, but I don't really know if I've seen much of a change, and I feel like I'm still holding a grudge over everything she's done. I don't know if I want advice, just wanted to rant because the anger towards her is coming back, seeing as it's the anniversary. Sorry if this is confusing or not concise at all. I'm just trying to write what I can remember and how I'm feeling. I don't think you're wrong at all for feeling this way, OP. She took a horrible tragedy that happened in your family, and she tried to make it all about her just because you didn't want to see her whenever y'all don't really have a great relationship to begin with. That's just super stupid and really entitled. Our next post comes from Throwaway53. We finally told his mom that we were engaged, and she went outside to cry and have a smoke. I'm not kidding. We waited a year to tell her that we're engaged, since we know how she is. We're sitting at the table and I show her the ring, and my fiancé tells her, "We're engaged." She says nothing, goes on the porch for a smoke, and starts crying, leaving my fiancé, his dad, and I sitting awkwardly at the table. His dad congratulated us and was happy for us. My fiancé went to see his mom, and I just sat at the table, trying not to cry because, ouch. I finally decided to go outside to see what was going on, and when I got outside, she didn't even acknowledge me. Then she puts out her cigarette and asks me how much the ring cost, and that was that, as if nothing happened. We left and I asked my fiancé what she was saying while I was inside, and he said that apparently she got scared, that we were going to say I was pregnant, and she went outside to have a smoke to calm her nerves. Even if I was pregnant, I feel like your son deserves your support, not this tantrum. There's a lot more to her, and she's awful, but this is the one thing that made me hate her. Your son is happy, and you're mad because of that? Do you really hate me that much? The only thing I've ever done to her is love her son. I feel like we could have a new name for this subreddit. Instead of JustNoMIL, it can now be Professional Victim. How about that? This next post comes from DumpsterFire15. I just changed my mobile number, and I am not giving it to my mother. Background. My spine and spinal cord are severely damaged and are degenerating from the heinous amounts of radiation therapy due to a rare and random cancer 20 years ago. I take pain meds in order to be able to live a life that is barely tolerable. I have asked my JustNoMom to never give out my phone number to anyone, friends, family, random people, etc. I had to remind her of this request back in December, when she gave my number to someone who I didn't want to have it. Tonight, I received a phone call from one of my mother's sisters, who I haven't spoken to in years. Dumpster Fire 15? This is your aunt. Hi, how are you? Your mom gave me your number. I want to know if I can get some of your pain pills. I can't. I have to have them. Well, can't you just not take them for a few days? I have a spasm in my back. That's not really how it works. I have to take my meds as prescribed, or they aren't as effective, and I'll have to get an increased dosage. I've been on this dose for a long time and don't want to mess with it. Well, you aren't that old. You're going to have the dosage changed sometime anyway. I will probably have to have a change eventually, but not this week. I'm telling your mother you are selfish. Okay, I'll tell the cops you're trying to obtain drugs that aren't prescribed to you. My aunt then hangs up with me and apparently called my freaking mother. My mother calls and yells at me because I embarrassed her with her sister. I then called my phone company and changed my number. Am I wrong to change my number and not give it to my mother? No, OP, you are not. If she is going to yell at you for not enabling your aunt to get on pain meds that aren't hers, then I don't know, man. This is ridiculous. Get out of that family. Our final post for the day comes from Jen and Barrett. My fiance has finally told his father that he won't be inviting his stepmom or her children to our wedding. So basically what the title says, he isn't going NC with his father, he is still invited. Just not his father's wife and her 4 kids, who also have their own children / partners / spouses, etc. So in total, 11 people. He is still inviting other family from his dad's side, just not them. I'm trying to keep this post short as it's my first, and these events have been happening over the past 10 years that we've been together. Also, father-in-law and his wife have been married for 20 years, but my fiance still doesn't consider his stepmom to be any sort of mother to him, nor does he consider the children to be his siblings any longer, despite growing up with them. The JustNoMIL and her children, all aged greater than 23, are all narcs and fall out with each other constantly. The drama that revolves around them is beyond belief. My partner has been no contact with them for a while now. His father states he is shocked by it all and didn't see it coming that my partner wasn't going to invite them, despite him repeatedly telling his dad to leave his wife for all the crap she has put his father through. E.g., running off to another country when their relationship was going through a rough patch only 3 months ago with no warning or explanation, then returning back and wanting him back in her life. My fiance also has a sister who has now gone LC with her father's family. We get on very well with her and see her on a regular basis. I have previously received a letter through the post from JustNoMIL and addressed specifically to me alone, even though we only live 15 minutes away. Basically gaslighting me about a situation that happened years ago at her daughter's wedding. I received the letter following a discussion I had with father-in-law, as he asked me to confirm my sister-in-law's side of events to JustNoMIL that she had told him. Sister-in-law is always very diplomatic and tries to be peacekeeper of the family, but had finally cracked and told her dad about all the things he has been oblivious to these past 5 years at the least. I didn't want to be involved in this debate, but just confirmed sister-in-law's sides of things to prove her own father she wasn't lying about JustNoMIL. My partner has expressed to his father that we do not need his money for our wedding. Fiance's mother and my parents are helping us. However, he states he will transfer us money regardless gradually month by month. My fiance already said to his dad that the fact his wife etc. are not invited to the wedding is not up for debate. So my partner plans to put the money in a separate account, and if the wedding passes no problem, we will use the money afterwards to book a later honeymoon. Our honeymoon fund is not relying on this, but it would be an added boost. But if before the wedding the money is used as a means of manipulation, my partner is going to hand the money back straight away. Has anyone else been through this to give us further advice as to what to expect? I can answer any questions if needed for clarity. I understand this is a very scant post, but I hope you appreciate there's a lot of stuff that has happened over the 10 years. Honestly, OP, with a relationship as bad as your father-in-law and his wife's is, I wouldn't be surprised if she just showed up for no reason because she is that entitled apparently. If she does that, just call the cops. Just say, she's not invited. Get out. Anyway, I'm going to leave this episode of r/JustNoMIL here. I hope you enjoyed the stories, and if you did, I'll link them in the description as always. And if you liked the video, feel free to drop a like, comment, and subscribe. A humongous thank you to everyone who has subscribed to me in the past few months. I cannot thank you enough for what y'all do for me, and I cannot thank y'all enough for what y'all do for the channel. Y'all give me the encouragement to push these videos out every day. But with that being said, I will see you in the next video.